Take a deep breath. Let your shoulders relax. Let your body grow heavy where you rest. Feel the gentle rise and fall of your chest, the rhythm of calm like waves brushing a quiet shore. As you listen, you begin to drift into a softer space where time moves slower and the air feels thick with peace. Now imagine yourself standing on a path that stretches into the evening mist. It's not night yet, but the sky wears that delicate hue between gold and blue, the hour when the day sighs and the first stars peek out shyly. Before you, tall gates of aged iron stand slightly open, their filigree curls like vines, and between them you glimpse rows of trees swaying in a tender breeze. A small sign, faded by time but still legible, reads, "The Cemetery of Forgotten Dreams." But don't be alarmed by the word cemetery. This is not a place of sorrow or shadow. It is a resting ground for all dreams, those that once fluttered brightly in people's hearts before gently drifting away like dandelion seeds. They have not died. They simply sleep here under soft blankets of moss and moonlight. As you step forward, the gravel beneath your shoes crunches quietly, not harshly, but like the sound of sugar crystals melting. The air smells of rain and earth, tinged with the sweetness of blooming jasmine that clings to the gateposts. You pause for a moment, letting the scent wash through you. There's a sense that this place is older than memory itself, yet utterly kind. You begin to walk. On either side of the winding path are small marble markers, each one engraved, not with names, but with fragments of dreams. To dance with fireflies, to build a ship that could sail the stars, to paint the sound of the wind. You smile softly as you read them. Each dream seems to hum faintly, a tender echo of the person who once held it close. You can almost feel their warmth in the air, gentle, hopeful, never forgotten. As you wander deeper, you notice that the trees here have silver leaves that shimmer with light. Even though the sun has nearly set, every breeze sends ripples through their branches, like the quiet laughter of old friends. From somewhere unseen, a nightingale begins to sing her song, long and slow, like honey dripping into still water. You walk on, drawn forward by the sound. The pathway turns soft underfoot, changing from gravel to moss. It's springy and cool, comforting beneath your steps. Fireflies appear, just a few at first, blinking lazily among the stones, then more, until the air is speckled with golden light. The world around you grows dreamlike, wrapped in mist that glows faintly blue. You feel an odd but gentle pull, as though something in this place recognizes you. Perhaps you too have left a dream here once, long ago. Something small, perhaps a wish, whispered before sleep, a hope that drifted away on a sigh. As you pause beside a low wall of ivy, you spot a tiny cottage nestled near the heart of the cemetery. Its windows glow softly amber, and smoke curls from a crooked chimney. You can hear the faint hum of a kettle inside, the clink of porcelain cups. Someone is home. The scent of tea reaches you, chamomile, honey, and something else, something a little like vanilla and starlight. A small sign by the door reads, "Caretaker's House." You step closer. Your fingers brush the weathered wood of the door, and before you can knock, it opens with a friendly creak. Inside stands an elderly woman with hair as white as candle smoke. She wears a shawl of pale blue wool and smiles at you with eyes that seem to hold every dawn you've ever known. "Well," she says softly, as though she's been expecting you all along. "It's been a while since someone came visiting at this hour. Her voice feels like a blanket around your shoulders. You nod, unsure what to say, but she waves her hand kindly. No need for words yet. The dreams like to speak first. She gestures toward a small round table by the window. 2 teacups wait, steam curling in gentle ribbons. You sit, and the chair creaks pleasantly beneath you. The tea tastes warm and soothing, with a hint of sleep in every sip. Outside, the fireflies drift past the glass like slow-moving stars. The caretaker folds her hands and smiles faintly. "You'll find what you came for, dear," she murmurs. "Everyone does, eventually. But first, you must listen to the dreams. They remember more than we do." Her words hang in the air like perfume, soft and mysterious. You take another sip of tea, and your body relaxes completely. The room feels impossibly safe, like the inside of a lullaby. Your eyes begin to grow heavy, not from sleepiness, but from the weightless calm that fills the air. The caretaker hums a tune low and old, a melody that seems to come from the earth itself. Somewhere in the distance, a gentle chime rings, echoing through the mist. It sounds like the signal that the dreams are stirring. You glance out the window. The fog has thickened, rolling like ocean waves between the gravestones. And in that soft, silvery fog, you begin to see shapes forming luminous, shifting, tender shapes, like half-remembered wishes waking up for a moment. You realize the dreams are alive, and they are waiting for you to walk among them. You finish your tea. The caretaker nods, smiling knowingly. "The night is long," she whispers, "and kind. Go on, dear one. Take your walk. Listen well." You rise, push the door open, and step once more into the moonlit quiet. The mist swirls gently around your ankles. The fireflies drift ahead of you, lighting the path toward the sleeping dreams that wait beyond. The gates close softly behind you with a sigh, not to trap you, but to welcome you fully into this realm of serenity and remembrance. And as you take your first step deeper into the cemetery of forgotten dreams, you feel utterly calm. Every breath feels slower, every heartbeat steadier. The night holds you, and somewhere within it, your own forgotten dream begins to stir. The mist welcomes you like a friend. It curls softly around your legs and arms, cool as silk and faintly glowing under the silvered light of the moon. The sound of your footsteps is hushed. Now the moss beneath your shoes feels like the thick weave of an old blanket, spongy and quiet. The fireflies drift ahead, forming a gentle line that guides you forward. Each pulse of their golden light feels like a slow heartbeat in rhythm with your breathing. The air hums with quiet life, a low, almost musical vibration that you can feel in your chest rather than hear. You follow the path, winding between tall trees whose bark glimmers faintly as if dusted with frost. Their branches arc overhead like the ceiling of a cathedral, and through their silver leaves the stars peek down soft, watchful, and kind. You pause for a moment, listening. There's no wind, yet the leaves shimmer and whisper as if passing messages between them. And when you lean closer, you could almost swear you hear words, the soft murmur of forgotten dreams speaking to one another. "I once dreamed of painting clouds. I dreamed of finding the tune that makes the moon dance. I dreamed of wings." The whispers are soothing, like a lullaby spoken by hundreds of sleepy voices. They drift around you, rise, and fade again, leaving the air tinged with a faint sweetness. something like vanilla and old books. As you continue down the path, you notice small lights appearing on the ground beside you. They're not fireflies, but faintly glowing blossoms, flowers that seem to have bloomed from starlight itself. Their petals are translucent, their centers warm and golden. When you step near one, it opens wider, as if greeting you. You kneel to look closer. The flower's glow brightens for a heartbeat and then softens again. You feel a wave of gentle warmth, like someone smiling quietly just for you. You can almost sense what this flower remembers, a dream that once belonged to a child who wanted to become a poet of the skies. You smile back and stand slowly, letting the calm linger in your chest. The path widens slightly as you go deeper, curving toward a small stone bridge that arches over a slow-moving stream. The water is clear, almost invisible, except for the ripples that catch the moonlight and scatter it like silver dust. The surface reflects the stars, but when you look closer, you realize that the reflections move differently, almost as though they have lives of their own. You lean over the edge of the bridge, resting your elbows on the cool stone. Beneath you, the reflections swirl and shift, forming faint images, fragments of dreams that once lived bright and loud in someone's heart. A dancer twirling among clouds, a ship sailing toward a floating island, a bird made entirely of glowing letters. The stream is carrying these dreams downstream, where they vanish into a haze of soft light. You stand there for a long time, simply watching, feeling the quiet rhythm of the stream. The caretaker's words echo in your memory. Listen to the dreams. They remember more than we do. You close your eyes and listen. The stream murmurs faintly, not with words, but with feelings, contentment, wonder, the serenity of being remembered, even when forgotten. You continue walking, following the stream as it winds gently beside the path. The air grows softer, still heavy with the scent of damp earth and blooming flowers. In the distance, you hear a faint humming. It's not a voice, but something more like music carried on mist. The tune draws you forward until the trees part to reveal a clearing bathed in moonlight. At its center stands a tree, far larger than the others. Its trunk is pale as bone, its bark smooth as silk, and its leaves shimmer like the wings of dragonflies. Beneath its wide branches lies a low stone bench, carved with curling patterns that look almost like handwriting. The humming grows louder, gentle, and patient. It seems to come from the tree itself. You step closer, and as you do, something begins to happen. The ground beneath the tree glows faintly, not with light, but with memory. All around its roots are countless tiny motes, drifting up like dust in sunlight. And within each mote, you see glimpses of dreams, laughter, sketches, inventions, songs that were half finished, wishes whispered into pillows long ago. It feels as though the tree is breathing them in and out, tending them like a caretaker of its own. You sit on the stone bench and lean back, letting your eyes rest on the canopy above. The leaves shift slowly, catching the starlight in ways that make the branches look alive with silver flame. The air hums again, low and tender. Then, a whisper not from the wind, but from the tree itself. "Welcome back," it says softly. "You've walked this path before." You blink, startled, not by fear, but by recognition, a deep, gentle remembering. You can't recall ever coming here, yet something in your heart knows the voice. The tree continues, its tone as calm as a bedtime story. Everyone who has ever dreamed comes here. Some come in sleep, some only in spirit. The dreams you've forgotten have not forgotten you. They wait, patient and kind, until you're ready to remember. You feel a warmth rise behind your eyes, not sadness, just a quiet awe. You look up, and among the branches, you see tiny lanterns hanging, hundreds of them, flickering softly. Each lantern holds a light that pulses in rhythm with a memory, a melody you hummed once as a child, a wish made on a falling star, a dream so gentle you let it drift away. They're beautiful, you whisper. They are yours, the tree replies, and you are theirs. A long pause follows, the kind of silence that isn't empty, but full of comfort, the kind of silence you could rest inside forever. You sit there for a while, breathing slowly, the mist cool against your skin. The world feels smaller, softer. Every sound, the stream, the rustling leaves, your own breath blends into one long sigh of peace. When you finally stand, the path ahead glows faintly. The fireflies have gathered again, forming a trail that winds beyond the clearing. The tree's voice murmurs once more, already fading into the air. Follow the silver leaves, dreamer. They will show you what sleeps beyond remembering. You nod, feeling the gentle tug of curiosity, not sharp, but tender, like being invited to wander through someone's garden at dusk. You take one last look at the great tree, bow slightly in thanks, and step once more onto the mossy path. The night is deeper now, the moon hangs higher, the fireflies lead on, and your heart feels lighter, as though every forgotten dream you've ever had is quietly walking beside you, whispering, "We remember you." The path winds on, soft and unhurried, as if time itself is strolling beside you, not leading nor following, just keeping company. The moss beneath your feet has grown more luminous now, glowing faintly with every step. It's as though your footprints awaken tiny sparks of light that fade slowly behind you, like a quiet reminder of your presence in this serene place. The air here feels different, lighter, touched by a tender sweetness that reminds you of dew on morning grass and the faint scent of pears. Somewhere ahead, you hear the slow murmur of a fountain, its rhythm calm and repetitive, like breathing in stone form. The path curves once more, and you find yourself standing before a low archway covered in climbing vines. The leaves shimmer with a silver-green hue, and soft petals drift down from unseen blossoms above, brushing your shoulders as you pass through. Beyond the arch lies the garden of luminous names. It is not large, but it stretches outward in a way that makes space feel infinite. The moonlight here has turned golden, as though filtered through dreams themselves. Rows of glowing plants, tall ferns, tiny shrubs, elegant lilies gently sway, though there is no breeze, and among them rise slender pillars, each one carved with delicate lettering that glows faintly in the warm light. You step closer to one. Upon its surface is a single word, courage, but beneath it, in smaller script, you read, "The dream of a child who once wanted to sing to the sea." You move to the next pillar, kindness, the dream of a woman who wished to heal the hearts of strangers, and then another, wonder, the dream of an old man who hoped to find magic one last time before dawn. Every pillar holds a word, glowing softly, humming quietly with the energy of the dream it protects. It feels like walking through a meadow of hearts, each light, a memory, a story, a gentle hope that once belonged to someone, somewhere. The caretaker's voice seems to echo faintly in your mind, The dreams like to speak first. You close your eyes for a moment, and the garden hums around you. The sound is low and rich, not a melody, but a harmony, a tapestry of countless sleeping wishes intertwined. You can almost hear laughter, fragments of songs, and the quiet rustle of imagination stretching its wings. When you open your eyes, you notice a small shape moving among the glowing stems. At first, you think it's another firefly, but then you see it more clearly, a tiny figure, no larger than your hand, with delicate wings that shimmer like the surface of a bubble. It's a dream keeper. The creature looks up at you, its expression curious but kind. Its eyes are like droplets of light, reflecting everything around them. It carries a small lantern. Though it doesn't seem to need it, the lantern glows faintly, with the same hue as the word wonder carved nearby. "Hello," it says softly, its voice no louder than a whisper of silk. "You're awake inside the dreaming world. That's rare." You smile, though you're not entirely sure if this is real, or if real even matters here. "I'm just walking," you reply. "The caretaker said the dreams remember." The dreamkeeper tilts its head, wings fluttering. "They do, and they love when someone remembers them back. Would you like to see yours?" Something stirs inside you, gentle curiosity, wrapped in calm acceptance. You nod. The creature flutters upward, the light from its lantern spilling across the nearby pillars. For a moment, the letters on each one flicker, as though the dreams inside are turning their heads to watch. Then the dreamkeeper gestures toward a corner of the garden, where the light seems thicker, more golden. You follow quietly, feeling your pulse slow to match the rhythm of this place. When you reach the far edge, you see a small stone well surrounded by blue flowers that glow like moonlit water. The dreamkeeper hovers above it, its tiny wings creating ripples in the air. "Look inside," it whispers. You lean over the rim and gaze into the water below. At first, you see only your reflection soft, blurred by mist. Then, slowly, images begin to form beneath the surface. You see a younger version of yourself, sitting beneath a window on a rainy afternoon. There's a sketchbook on your knees, half filled with ideas you never finished, tiny worlds drawn in pencil, names for stories you never wrote. You remember them now, faintly, dreams that drifted away when life grew louder. The water ripples gently, and the image shifts. Now you see something else, a quiet dream, simple and tender. It's you standing beneath a tree much like the one you saw earlier, whispering a promise to take care of the world, to love it, even when you felt small. The dreamkeeper smiles, watching your face. "That one was a gentle dream," it says. "It never left. It just rested here, waiting for you to walk by again." You feel warmth bloom in your chest, peaceful, deep, and familiar. "It feels good to see it," you whisper. The dreamkeeper nods, drifting closer. Most people forget their dreams because they think they've failed them, but dreams are patient. They sleep, and when the time is kind, they open their eyes again. It lowers its lantern until the light brushes the edge of the well. The glow changes color, soft lavender, then gold, then white. The water shimmers, and one small glowing mote rises slowly into the air. It floats toward you, pulsing faintly with light. "This one remembers your laughter," says the dreamkeeper. "Take it. It wants to travel with you for a while." You hold out your hand. The mote settles in your palm, warm and feather-light. The moment it touches your skin, you feel something inside you open like a window letting in spring air after a long winter. You tuck the mote gently near your heart. The dreamkeeper nods approvingly. "Keep walking," it says. The dreams will find you when you need them. The path ahead leads to the fields of quiet songs. The wind there remembers everything. It gives a tiny bow, and then, with a flick of its wings, it disappears among the flowers, leaving only the faint scent of honey and stars. You stand alone again, but not lonely. The garden hums softly behind you, each luminous name glowing a little brighter as though encouraged by your visit. You take one last look around, letting the golden calm settle deep in your bones. When you step back onto the path, the moss glows a little stronger beneath your feet, and you feel lighter, like the weight of forgotten dreams has turned into a lantern inside you, guiding you onward. The night is deep, gentle, eternal, and somewhere ahead, beyond the silver arch and the glowing ferns, you can already hear the faint sound of distant singing, soft and wordless, like a lullaby carried on the breath of time. You follow the melody through the mist, soft and steady like a tide pulling you gently onward. Each note feels familiar, though you cannot recall where you first heard it, perhaps in childhood, perhaps in a dream you never finished. The air grows warmer as you walk, scented faintly with lavender and rain-washed grass. The path broadens, the moss giving way to soft meadow earth. The mist parts like curtains drawn by invisible hands, revealing a vast, moonlit plain. Rolling hills stretch in every direction, blanketed in wildflowers that glow with a subtle light, soft blues, gentle pinks, and deep purples fading into one another like watercolor paint on wet paper. And everywhere, the sound, a low, continuous hum, like a choir of unseen voices. You pause, close your eyes, and listen. It's not a song sung by mouths or instruments. It's older, born from wind brushing the grass, from petals rustling against one another, from the rhythmic breathing of the earth. Every sound is perfectly in tune with the next. The result is a music so pure and calm that you feel it vibrating in your chest. You take a deep breath and begin to walk again, slower now, more mindful. Each step disturbs tiny clouds of glowing pollen that swirl up and float lazily in the moonlight. They drift behind you like stardust, marking your passage through this serene field. At the heart of the plain rises a gentle hill. Upon it stands an ancient windmill, its blades motionless, yet glowing faintly with lines of gold that trace their edges. You feel drawn to it. Something in the music seems to weave around it, spiraling upward before dispersing into the night sky. As you approach, you notice that the air around the windmill is alive with movement. Small, luminous ribbons of light drift through the air notes. You realize, actual notes, shaped like tiny glowing symbols, floating and turning, carried by invisible currents. When one brushes against your sleeve, it dissolves into warmth, leaving a faint sound in your ear, as if whispering, "Remember." You climb the gentle slope and reach the windmill's wooden door. It's slightly ajar, creaking softly as the night breeze passes through. You push it open, and the faintest sigh of air greets you, like a breath released after a long silence. Inside, the space is filled with hanging chimes, hundreds of them, each crafted from something different: glass, shells, crystal, bits of metal, pieces of bone polished smooth by time. The air stirs just enough for them to sing in harmony, their tones mingling into a whispering chorus. You stand quietly in the center, listening. Every note feels alive, delicate, carrying a memory that doesn't quite belong to words. And then, through the chime song, a voice speaks, not loud, barely more than a hum, but close, like it's being whispered beside your ear. "You've come far, dreamer," the voice says. "Few walk this deep into stillness. The dreams that rest here are made of music. They remember emotions that words forgot." You glance around, searching for the speaker, but the room is empty. Only the chimes sway, ringing in soft patterns that feel like breath. "Who are you?" you whisper. "The echo," says the voice. "Once, I was the sound of all who wished to be heard but never found the words. I keep their melodies safe until they can be sung again." You breathe slowly, letting the words ripple through you. They feel less like speech and more like resonance, a vibration within the body. The echo continues. Each flower in this field blooms from a forgotten song. Each chime here holds a heartbeat that was once music. Would you like to hear your own? You nod instinctively. The air shifts. One chime, small, silver, delicate, begins to sway on its own. It releases a single, clear tone that rings through the stillness. The sound wraps around you, soft and liquid, and then blooms into melody. It's your song. You know it instantly, though you've never heard it before. It feels like the sound of sunlight through curtains on a slow morning, the hush of rain at night, the laughter of people you love but haven't seen in years. It holds every quiet joy you've ever felt, every gentle hope you forgot to keep. Your eyes grow heavy, not from weariness but from peace. You close them and let the melody move through you, carrying you backward through memories that are more feeling than image warmth, light, safety. When the song fades, you feel as though you've been polished clean from the inside out. You exhale, long and slow. The echo hums faintly once more. "The songs remember you," it says. "They always do. But remember, your voice still belongs to the waking world. There are places, even gentler than this one, waiting for you." The chimes settle into silence again. You bow your head in gratitude and step back out into the moonlit air. The field hums beneath you, the invisible choir resuming its low, endless song. In the distance, across the fields, you can see faint lights, soft, steady, like lanterns floating on air. That must be your next destination. As you descend the hill, the petals brush against your legs, releasing the faintest shimmer. The world feels lighter now, the stars above clearer, closer. At the edge of the field stands a narrow arch of woven reeds, strung with hundreds of tiny glowing orbs. As you approach, you realize they are shaped like teardrops, each one filled with light. A sign carved into a smooth stone reads, "The Bridge of Reflected Moments." You pause before it, the gentle hum of the fields fading behind you. The air around the bridge smells of morning dew and something faintly sweet, like honey and new beginnings. You step forward, the first orb flickering softly above your head. The melody follows you, fading, until it's only a memory, an echo of an echo guiding you onward. And so you walk, slowly, calmly, into the deeper dreaming, where silence hums and time sighs like a friend, half asleep. You step onto the bridge, and the ground beneath your feet hums faintly, as if recognizing your presence. The surface is smooth and cool, woven from strands of silver and glass, shimmering under the soft pull of moonlight. It doesn't creak or sway, though it seems impossibly delicate, as if it were made of light itself rather than matter. The orbs hanging from its archway glow brighter with each step you take. They pulse gently, not in unison, but in patterns like the slow overlapping rhythm of heartbeats. Some glow white as pearl, others golden like candlelight, and a few pulse in shades of soft blue and rose. As you move deeper across the span, you begin to see reflections in the air around you. They aren't mirrors, exactly. They're like ripples in invisible glass moments, suspended in time, softly replaying themselves. You pause, watching the first one that forms beside you. It's a memory not of yours, at least, not entirely. A young man sits beside a stream, sketching in a small book. His expression is serene, content. You can almost hear the quiet sound of pencil on paper. Then, the image drifts away, dissolving into silver mist. A few steps later, another reflection appears. This one is yours. You recognize it instantly, the way the air smelled, the light falling across your hands, the way laughter echoed off unseen walls. It's you sitting under a tree, eyes closed, humming to yourself. You can't remember the song, but the calm from that moment washes through you again, as real as it ever was. The bridge hums beneath your feet, and the air feels warmer. You glance to your left and see hundreds of other moments flickering in and out of view, as though this place is not bound to one lifetime or one person. It's a river of memory, carrying all who've ever dreamed across its gentle current. You walk on. The sound of the world here changes. It's quieter, softer. The music from the fields has faded, replaced by a deep, resonant stillness. Even your breath seems to make ripples in the light. Each exhale feels like a word written in fog, lingering before vanishing into the greater hush. As you near the center of the bridge, the orbs above begin to drift slowly downward. They float around you, spinning lazily, like planets circling a star. Their glow paints the air in shades of soft honey and pale sapphire. You reach out to touch one. It hesitates for a heartbeat, then drifts gently into your palm. The light is warm but not bright, more like the warmth of someone's hand resting over yours. And when you look closer, the orb's surface shifts, revealing an image deep within it. It's another memory, this one small, tender, and wordless. A dream perhaps, a candle flickering by an open window, a journal lying unfinished beside a sleeping cat, the faint outline of your own handwriting, a sentence you once began and never finished. One day, I'll return to the place that feels like home, even if it exists only inside me. The orb shivers, as though acknowledging your recognition, and then floats upward again, joining the constellation above. You feel something inside. You loosen a gentle sigh that seems to belong to your heart rather than your lungs. The air stirs slightly, and from ahead comes a soft sound, footsteps, slow, unhurried, approaching. Out of the haze, a figure appears, a tall man in a long coat of gray, carrying a lantern shaped like an hourglass. His hair is streaked with silver, and his eyes glow faintly with the same light as the orbs. "Good evening," he says, his voice a calm current in the hush. You walk with quiet feet. Few make it this far before waking. You nod, unsure what to say. This bridge, it feels alive. He smiles faintly, nodding. It is. Every step on it recalls a moment once lived, a breath once taken. It remembers for those who have forgotten, and forgets for those who wish to rest. You glance around at the floating memories. Are they all dreams? Not quite, he replies. Some are what people thought were dreams, half remembered, half real. But every dream is born from a moment, and every moment holds the seed of a dream. This bridge gathers them both, so none are lost to silence. He gestures toward the other end of the span, where the light grows softer, turning from moonlight to the faint gold of a coming dawn. You're nearing the threshold of memory, he says. Beyond this bridge, dreams stop remembering the world. You'll find the meadow of lanterns there, where even forgotten time rests. You tilt your head. Will I find my dream there? The man's eyes warm. Perhaps. But remember, the dream is not something you find. It is something you recognize, like a note in a song you've always known. He lifts his lantern, and for a brief moment, its light passes through you. You see flickers of your own reflection again, hundreds of versions of yourself, each walking a slightly different bridge, each holding a slightly different dream. Then, in a blink, they fade. The man smiles one last time. Keep walking, dreamer. The bridge will remember your steps, and then, like mist dispersing, he vanishes. You stand for a moment in the silence that follows, your hands warm from where the orb had rested. The bridge hums once again underfoot, and the orbs above sway gently as though nodding to you. When you take another step, something subtle shifts. The light changes, the air deepens, the reflections around you become dimmer, fading into soft golden glow. The final stretch of the bridge feels timeless. No beginning, no end, only the endless rhythm of calm. When you finally reach the far side, the bridge dissolves quietly behind you. The air is filled with the scent of rain and cedar. Ahead, on the horizon, stretches a field of small lanterns, thousands upon thousands swaying like tall grass under the breath of the stars. Each lantern glows with its own hue, some bright, some faint, some flickering like sleepy hearts. The ground beneath them gleams faintly, reflecting their gentle fire. It feels like standing at the edge of an ocean made of light. The faintest breeze brushes your face, carrying the soft crackle of 1,000 whispered dreams. And then you realize this must be the meadow of lanterns the bridge keeper spoke of. The next step forward will take you there into the very heart of sleep itself. The moment your foot touches the soft grass beyond the bridge, the world exhales. The air changes warmer, denser, filled with the scent of rain-drenched earth and something faintly sweet, like vanilla and blooming night jasmine. The ground glows faintly beneath your feet, and every step releases tiny ripples of light, as if you're walking across a living sky. The meadow stretches endlessly ahead, a gentle sea of lanterns swaying in rhythm with the invisible breath of night. Each one hangs at a slightly different height, their shapes varied round, teardrop, oval, some woven from delicate reeds, others crafted from what looks like starlight itself. They move as though they're alive, slow and patient, flickering in a steady heartbeat of calm. Their light doesn't dazzle, it soothes. It's the kind of glow that seems to warm the heart rather than the eyes, a steady pulse of belonging. You walk slowly, hands brushing the air as lanterns drift close, their silk tassels whispering against your skin. Every time you touch one, a faint echo hums in your chest, not quite a sound, but a vibration, a reminder of something once wished for. You pause beside one that glows with a soft amber hue. Inside it, faint as breath on glass, is a scene, a child holding a paper boat at the edge of a pond. The boat trembles, then sails away under moonlight. You can almost hear the child's laughter. A voice light and distant drifts through the air. "They're not trapped dreams," it says, "only resting ones." You turn, but there's no one there, only the wind, fragrant and slow, stirring the lanterns in waves. The voice feels familiar, perhaps the caretaker's, perhaps your own thoughts, softened by the magic of this place. You continue walking. The meadow deepens. The lanterns grow larger, their glow richer, their light painting faint halos across the fog. Some float just above the ground. Others drift up into the night sky like glowing seeds released into eternity. You notice that beneath each lantern, small flowers have grown white blossoms, shaped like tiny open palms. Their petals reflect the light above them, and occasionally, when a breeze passes, they tilt upward as if trying to catch it. The world hums around you. You realize that this place has no sound other than the rhythm of your breath and the faint flicker of flame. And yet, you can feel the music, a symphony of quiet light, steady and tender, woven into the stillness. After a time, you find a small stone bench near the heart of the meadow. It's smooth and slightly warm, as though many have rested there before. You sit down, and the lanterns nearest to you draw closer, circling softly in the air, their glow brightening by degrees. The warmth spreads across your shoulders, down your arms. Your whole body relaxes, the last remnants of tension dissolving like mist. You lean back slightly and watch the lanterns drift. In their movement, you start to notice patterns. Some pulse together, forming slow constellations in the air, arcs and spirals, shapes that almost resemble wings, or waves, or hearts. It feels as though they are trying to communicate, but not in language, in rhythm, in feeling. You close your eyes for a moment, breathing deeply. When you open them again, one lantern has floated especially close. It's smaller than the others, made of thin glass and wrapped with golden thread. Inside, a light flickers softly, rhythmic, familiar. You lean in, and then you see faintly, gently, a reflection of yourself, not as you are now, but as you were in a dream long ago, standing on a hill, hands full of glowing paper stars, releasing them one by one into the wind. The lantern hums when you recognize it. The sound is low, tender, and filled with warmth. "This one's mine," you whisper. The air seems to nod in agreement. The lantern bobs slightly, as if bowing back to you. You reach out and cup your hands around it. The glass feels cool at first, then warms instantly to your touch. Inside it, the tiny flame steadies, growing just a little brighter. The warmth moves through your palms and up your arms, all the way to your chest. And for a moment, you remember not the dream itself, but the feeling it gave you, that boundless wonder, the simple joy of believing in things too beautiful to explain. Tears gather softly at the corners of your eyes, but they aren't sad. They are the kind that come when something inside you recognizes itself after being silent for too long. You hold the lantern close, then whisper, "Thank you." It flickers once, twice, and then gently floats upward, back into the soft ocean of light. You sit in silence for a while, the glow of the meadow reflecting in your eyes. The scent of wildflowers thickens. Somewhere far off, a bell chimes slow and distant, like a heartbeat in the fog. You realize that the lanterns are beginning to drift in that direction, slowly, gracefully, like a tide following the moon. One by one, they lift higher, forming a glowing river across the night sky. You stand, knowing instinctively that it's time to follow. The lanterns begin to lead the way, their light forming a gentle path over the tall grass. You take a deep breath, inhaling the cool sweetness of the air, and step forward once more. The soft bell chimes again, closer this time. Each sound seems to melt a little more of the waking world from your memory, leaving only the comfort of the moment, the serenity of belonging exactly where you are. At the far edge of the meadow, the glow becomes stronger, almost golden white, like dawn trying to remember itself. You can just make out the outline of an arched doorway made of woven willow branches, glowing faintly. It seems to hum with life, as if the night itself built it from light and stillness, and through it you can see another world, one filled with rippling reflections and soft luminescent water. The bell chimes a final time, low and welcoming. You know it's calling you to the next part of your journey, the lake beyond the lanterns. You pause for a moment, looking back at the meadow. Every lantern flickers once more, in what feels like a farewell or perhaps a blessing. The light shimmers like quiet applause, warm and endless. Then you turn toward the glowing arch and take your first step through. The air beyond feels different, cooler, deeper, like stepping into a dream within a dream. The sound of water greets you, calm and eternal. You have reached the lake of remembering light. A soft hush greets you as you step through the willow arch. The air grows cooler here, touched by the scent of deep water and moonlit reeds. The ground beneath your feet changes. The moss gives way to smooth stone, damp and cool, polished by centuries of gentle footsteps and flowing mist. Before you stretches a lake so still it seems made of glass. Its surface mirrors the sky perfectly, every star, every slow-moving cloud reflected in infinite calm. You can't tell where water ends and heaven begins. The lanterns from the meadow drift above it in long glowing trails, their light scattering across the mirrored surface until it looks as though the stars themselves have descended to rest upon the water. You step closer to the edge. The lake breathes, barely perceptible ripples roll outward like sighs. The air hums faintly, deep and resonant, carrying the same melody that's followed you since the first gate, the song of old dreams sleeping peacefully. Kneeling down, you reach out and let your fingers brush the water. It's warmer than you expect, soft and silken, like touching memory itself. The moment your skin meets the surface, light blooms beneath your fingertips. Circles of pale gold spread outward, illuminating the shallows below. For a heartbeat, you see shapes moving there. Not fish, not plants, but visions. Fragments of dreams drifting like petals underwater. A child building a tower of sand under a glowing moon. A woman laughing while the rain paints her hands silver. A musician asleep beside his instrument. A final note glowing faintly on the strings. Each scene lasts only a moment before dissolving back into soft light. You draw your hand back, watching the ripples fade. The lake seems to remember your touch, echoing faint warmth back toward you. From the other side of the lake, a sound stirs the rhythmic creak of oars, slow and patient. You look up to see a small boat gliding toward you, carved from pale wood that glows faintly blue. It moves without haste, cutting a single ripple through the mirrored surface. At the stern stands a quiet figure, cloaked in white. Their hood is drawn low, but you can see the reflection of the stars dancing across the curve of their robe. In their hands, they hold a long wooden pole that touches the water with each gentle push, guiding the boat forward with elegant ease. When the boat reaches the shore, the figure lifts their head. You glimpse a kind face, neither young nor old, glowing faintly with the same golden light that lives in the lanterns. "Traveler," they say softly. Their voice sounds like the reflection of sound, as though it comes from both near and far. The lake of remembering light welcomes you. You bow your head slightly, instinctively respectful. "It's beautiful," you whisper. The ferryman smiles, a quiet, patient smile that feels as ancient as the moon above. This lake keeps what time forgets. Every dream that was ever loved, every hope ever set free, floats here until it's ready to become light again. They extend a hand, inviting you aboard. You step into the boat, and it barely rocks. It's steady as the earth, as though it, too, knows its purpose is to carry you without disturbance. The ferryman pushes gently off the shore, and you drift out onto the mirrored surface. The sound of the pole dipping in and out of the water sets the rhythm of your breathing. The oar's soft creak becomes the measure of calm. You look down, watching the reflected stars ripple and reform. Every stroke seems to awaken faint lights beneath the surface, dreams glowing faintly in the depths. "Do they ever fade?" you ask quietly. "Not fade," the ferryman replies. "They change shape. Some become new dreams. Others return to the hearts that once held them, and some dissolve into pure stillness, the gentlest form of light." You nod, watching a lantern drift by. Its glow is faint, almost transparent, yet impossibly beautiful. Inside, it floats a small, golden feather. It bobs once in the water, then slowly dissolves, its light spreading into the lake like honey in warm tea. The ferryman hums a soft tune, low, circular, endless. You realize it matches the sound of the waves, the air, your heartbeat. Everything in this place breathes together. After a long silence, they speak again. "Do you remember your dream, traveler?" You hesitate. The question feels heavier than it seems. "I remember pieces," you admit. "Not all of it, but I remember how it felt like a quiet promise I made to myself long ago." The ferryman nods. "That is enough. The lake remembers for you. It keeps the rest safe until you are ready." You drift on, the boat moving through a narrow channel where the lanterns hang lower, their reflections painting the water gold. The moon has climbed higher now, enormous and gentle, its light shimmering on the surface in trembling paths. The ferryman dips the pole one last time and lets the boat drift on its own. Ahead, the lake opens into a vast, circular expanse surrounded by low hills covered in glowing reeds. In the center stands a small island, crowned by a single willow tree whose branches trail into the water. The tree glows softly, pulsing like a living heart. The ferryman gestures toward it. "There," they say, "that is the heart of the lake. Every dream finds its reflection there before it rests." As the boat nears the island, you notice the water becoming clearer, brighter. You can see your reflection again, not just your face, but all of you, surrounded by gentle ripples of light. For a moment, it feels as though you're looking at both your waking self and your dreaming self at once. The ferryman smiles faintly. "When you step onto the island, you may leave a piece of yourself here. If you wish a thought, a word, a breath, the lake will keep it safe. In return, it will give you silence, the kind that heals." You look toward the willow. Its leaves whisper softly in a breeze you cannot feel. You nod. The boat glides to the edge of the island and stops, as if by instinct. You step onto the soft grass, which glows faintly under your feet. The ferryman remains in the boat, bowing their head. "Take your time," they say. You walk slowly toward the willow tree. Its bark shimmers with light that moves like water, The air beneath its branches feels sacred, heavy with stillness, thick with peace. You rest your hand against the trunk. It feels warm, pulsing faintly, like a living heartbeat. You close your eyes. In your mind, you form a single thought, a wish so quiet, it almost feels like breathing. You let it go, releasing it like a leaf into a stream. The willow glows brighter for a moment, and then the light settles, returning to its steady pulse. You feel lighter, as if you've laid something down gently that no longer needs to be carried. When you open your eyes, the lake around you shimmers with renewed brilliance. Every reflection feels clearer, deeper. You turn back to the boat. The ferryman smiles once more. The lake remembers now, they say, and you may go on, lighter than before. You step back into the boat, the willows glow following you, rippling across the water as the ferryman guides you toward the opposite shore. As you drift away, the island fades behind you, becoming smaller, softer, until it merges completely with the light of the lake. Ahead, you see a shoreline where tall reeds move like sleeping dancers. Between them, faint lights shimmer, not lanterns this time, but fireflies, thousands of them. The ferryman's voice drifts across the calm. Those who cross the lake walk next through the field of fireflies. There, the night itself dreams. The boat glides to the bank. You step onto solid ground once more, the faint hum of water fading behind you. The reeds part gently as you walk forward, each one whispering as it bends. The air smells of honey, and the world begins to glow, again, alive with quiet stars made of wings. You've entered the field of fireflies. The path from the lake narrows into a soft trail of earth and light. The reeds part like curtains as you walk, and the first fireflies greet you with slow golden flickers. Their glow is steady, rhythmic, a gentle pulse that syncs with your heartbeat, as if the night is breathing alongside you. The air here is warm and still, holding the faint scent of dew and citrus blossoms. Every sound is muffled, softened by distance. The faint murmur of the lake behind you, the whisper of tall grass swaying in unseen breezes. You take a deep breath, feeling your chest expand and release. With each breath, the world around you grows gentler, the light dimmer, and your thoughts quieter. The fireflies drift closer, floating like tiny lanterns with wings. At first they hover at eye level, then spiral around you, slow, deliberate, graceful. It feels as if they are studying you, recognizing something in your presence. One lands on your hand, its light pulsing gently through your skin. You hold still, and in that brief moment, the glow feels like warmth flowing directly into your pulse. You whisper softly, "Hello." The firefly flickers once, twice, as if answering, then lifts off and joins the others. They form slow patterns in the air circles, loops, soft waves like ancient symbols written in light. You keep walking. The field opens wide, revealing a vast expanse where thousands of fireflies drift together in great, shifting constellations. Some float low, just above the ground. Others rise higher, becoming stars of their own against the dark velvet sky. It's impossible to tell where the real stars end and the living ones begin. Each step carries you deeper into their glow, and your mind begins to empty itself of words you don't think you feel. The sensation is pure, calm, belonging, a quiet joy that hums beneath the surface of your awareness. Somewhere nearby, you hear soft chimes, not wind chimes this time, but a more delicate sound, like crystal threads being gently plucked. You follow the sound, moving slowly through the field. The fireflies part, then gather again behind you like a glowing tide. After a few minutes, you find the source of the music, a small clearing surrounded by tall grass. At its center stands a crystal fountain, low and circular, filled with water that glows faintly green-blue, like the underside of a wave. Fireflies hover above it, and each time one dips close to the surface, the water sings a single, high note that lingers and joins with the others, creating a melody of light and sound. You step closer, captivated. The water is so clear, you can see your reflection perfectly, but not just your reflection. Behind it, faint and soft, you glimpse the outlines of others, countless figures, some human, some not, all walking through similar fields under different moons. They move slowly, peacefully, each surrounded by their own circles of fireflies. It's as if every dreamer who has ever wandered here exists at once, connected by the same song. You kneel beside the fountain. The sound of the glowing water and the fireflies' rhythm blends into something hypnotic, like the memory of a lullaby your heart remembers but your mind forgot. The reflection shifts, and you see a small shape forming beside your own, a glowing firefly larger than the rest, hovering close to the surface. Its light pulses brighter with every breath you take. It lands softly on your open palm. For a moment, the glow intensifies, filling your vision completely. Then, faintly, you hear a voice high, gentle, like wind whispering through glass. You have walked far, dreamer. The world grows quiet around you because it wishes to listen. What would you like to remember before sleep takes you fully? The question drifts through you like a feather through water. You think of all you've seen, the silver trees, the glowing names, the meadow of lanterns, the ferryman's calm. You think of how your heart feels lighter now, unburdened. You close your eyes and whisper, "I'd like to remember the feeling of being safe, of being at peace, even when I forget who I am." The firefly's glow flares softly, then dims, as if nodding in understanding. It lifts into the air and circles your head once, twice, leaving trails of golden light that settle into your hair like dust from stars. Then hundreds more join it, the entire field rising in waves of gold and white. The sky fills with light, as though the stars themselves have chosen to move closer. You can no longer tell whether you're standing on Earth or floating among the constellations. The air hums, the song deepens, now slower, heavier, wrapping around you like the softest blanket. The glow of the fountain spreads, filling the clearing, the grass, the horizon. In that golden stillness, you feel something wordless, the boundary between waking and dreaming beginning to blur. The field itself seems to sigh, content, as if the night has accepted your wish and folded it gently into its endless quiet. As the fireflies begin to descend again, returning to their soft dance, you find a low stone at the edge of the fountain and sit. The music fades into silence, leaving only the soft sound of your own breathing. The fireflies hover lower now, their glow dimming to a slow pulse. One by one, they drift back into the tall grass, their lights winking like sleepy eyes. Soon, only a few remain, hovering near your knees, small and steady. You smile faintly. "Good night," you whisper. The air answers with a sigh, warm, kind, and infinite. You rise once more, your body light, your mind quiet. Ahead, a faint mist glows on the horizon, a silver haze that looks almost like dawn. Though you know this place doesn't obey the hours of the Sunday, the last firefly lingers on your shoulder as you begin walking toward that light. Its wings hum faintly, and with every step you take, your heartbeat slows to match it. You cross the last stretch of the field, and as you do, the grass grows taller and softer, the light brighter but never harsh. The firefly lifts off your shoulder, drifts ahead, and then vanishes into the mist. You step through after it. The air grows cool again, faintly shimmering. The light here bends and moves like water. You can hear faint echoes, voices humming softly, laughter from far away, like a dream seen through thin silk. You realize you've entered the Valley of Echoed Dreams, a place where every dream ever dreamt hums faintly in the air, waiting to be remembered. The mist folds around you like a soft blanket, cool and weightless, carrying with it the faint scent of lilac and rain-soaked stone. You step forward, and the air ripples gently each movement, creating waves of pale silver light that drift outward before fading into the distance. The ground beneath your feet feels different here, soft, almost cloud-like, yielding just enough to cradle each step. It's as if the valley wants to carry your weight, to make walking effortless, as though you are moving through memory rather than space. All around, echoes murmur faint, melodic, almost like whispers in a dream, half remembered. You can't make out words, but you feel their essence: joy, longing, laughter, peace. Each sound flickers like a candle flame, soft and alive, lighting brief images in the mist before fading again. You walk slowly. As the fog parts, you begin to see them, faint silhouettes suspended in the air like shadows made of light. They drift gently, moving in and out of focus, not ghosts, but echoes of dreams once lived, memories replaying themselves like soft waves on an eternal shore. In one, a small boy lies on his back in a summer meadow, counting clouds that drift like ships. In another, an old woman waters a window box filled with glowing herbs, humming a lullaby. Nearby, a man builds a kite from golden paper, laughing quietly as it takes flight into the endless sky. The images move with a patience that feels eternal. None rush, none fade quickly. They linger as long as they're remembered, and then dissolve into calm, leaving the air shimmering behind them. You pause, feeling the gentle hum of the valley in your chest. Every breath seems to tune you to its rhythm, slow, deliberate, steady. The longer you stay, the more the valley begins to mirror your thoughts. When you exhale, shapes begin to form in the mist ahead of you, your own echoes. At first, they're faint, an outline of yourself as a child, hands full of wildflowers, a smile too wide for words. Then another version appears older, quieter, sitting beneath a tree, sketching in a notebook. You recognize them all, and yet they feel like old friends you haven't seen in years. The echoes do not look at you directly, but they seem to know you're there. One lifts its head briefly, its features made of shimmering mist and starlight, and nods before fading back into the valley's silver breath. You smile softly. There's no sadness in watching them, only gratitude. You keep walking, deeper into the glow. The echoes grow thicker now, forming a gentle current that moves alongside you. You see 1,000 small lives brushing past people you'll never know, dreams you'll never dream, all existing here in the same tranquil harmony. You understand, somehow, that the valley holds everything, every hope, every moment of wonder, every dream that has ever touched a soul and drifted onward. It feels endless, yet perfectly still. After a time, you come to a low ridge where the fog thins. From here, the valley opens wide before you, a sea of light stretching to the horizon. The echoes move through it like schools of silver fish beneath the surface of a luminous ocean. The air above glows faintly gold, and the clouds overhead drift with a deliberate slowness, as if even time must rest here. You sit upon the ridge. The mist curls around your legs like a friendly cat. The valley hums, the sound deep and resonant, like the world itself breathing in sleep. And then, as if noticing your stillness, a figure appears beside you, gentle, quiet, shimmering with the same light as the fog. It's neither man nor woman, neither young nor old. The form shifts gently with each glance, impossible to fix, always kind. When they speak, their voice sounds like hundreds of voices speaking in unison, all soft and familiar. "Welcome, dreamer," they say. "You've walked far through the night." You turn toward them. This place, it feels like the heart of everything. The figure nods, smiling faintly. It is the resting place of every dream that's ever touched a soul. When the world forgets them, they come here to echo, and when a heart remembers them again, they awaken and return. You look out across the glowing expanse. "So none are lost?" "None," says the figure, "only sleeping until remembered. Even the smallest dream, a wish whispered once before sleep, a hope you thought unimportant, all of them hum here, gently forever." The valley seems to brighten as they speak, as though it agrees. You breathe in deeply, the air thick with serenity, and close your eyes. Behind your eyelids, the echoes move, and one grows brighter. You see it clearly now, a dream of yours, one you had nearly forgotten. It's small and simple, a version of yourself, sitting beside a window on a rainy night, writing letters you never sent, smiling at the sound of the world outside. It was never about doing or becoming, just being content. And still, when you open your eyes again, that echo stands before you. It's made of light and rain, calm and whole. It looks at you, and in its eyes, you see all the quiet moments of peace you've ever known. You step closer, and the echo reaches out its hand. When your fingers meet, the entire valley seems to pulse, as if acknowledging the reunion. Light flows gently from the echo into your chest, a warmth so complete it feels like exhaling after holding your breath for years. The figure beside you speaks again, softer now. You've remembered yourself. That's all any dream ever asks. The echo smiles at you one last time before dissolving, its light flowing back into you, becoming part of your heartbeat, your breath, your calm. You sit in silence. There's nothing to chase, nothing to understand, just stillness, wide and tender. The figure gestures toward the far edge of the valley. The mist there has thinned into a faint veil of golden light. Beyond this valley lies the garden of endless rest, they say. There, the night ends not in waking but in peace. You may walk there if you wish, or linger here as long as you need. The dreams will keep you company. You look out at the glowing expanse one last time. The echoes continue their eternal drift, humming gently 1,000 lives in quiet harmony. You smile, whispering a small thank you to the mist, to the figure, to the dreams. Then, with slow and easy steps, you begin walking toward the golden edge of the valley. The air grows warmer, softer, the mist thins until it becomes a fine golden haze. You can smell blooming flowers again, jasmine, chamomile, and something like honey warmed by sunlight. The hum of the valley fades into silence, replaced by the faint, rhythmic sound of wind in leaves. You take one last breath of silver air before stepping through the golden veil. And there it is ahead of you, glowing faintly under the eternal twilight, the garden of endless rest. You step through the golden veil, and the air changes instantly. It feels warmer here, not like the warmth of day, but like the quiet heat of a blanket pulled over your shoulders on a cool evening. The scent of the valley fades behind you, replaced by something gentle and floral. Wild thyme, white lilac, and the faint sweetness of old parchment. You pose, letting your eyes adjust. The garden opens around you like a breath released. It stretches in every direction, a great field of low hills and soft meadows glowing in a perpetual twilight. There are trees, tall and graceful, their trunks smooth and silver, their leaves golden green, shimmering with faint light. Between them, stone paths wind lazily through beds of pale flowers. Everything here seems to move with impossible slowness. The wind drifts like silk. The leaves sway once every few minutes. The petals of the flowers open and close in rhythm with the deep heartbeat of the earth. Even the stars above seem to blink slower here, as though they too have grown drowsy. You take your first step into the garden. The ground beneath your feet feels soft and springy, carpeted in moss that glows faintly underfoot. Each step makes a sound like a sigh. It's quieter than any place you've ever been. Not empty, just complete. A small stream runs nearby, its water glowing faintly blue, curling between the roots of the trees. The sound of it is gentle, almost too soft to hear, but rhythmic enough to make your body relax without effort. You follow it for a while, walking slowly, letting your hands brush the air as you move. After a time, you come to a clearing. At its center stands an ancient stone fountain, its basin filled not with water, but with something lighter, like liquid light, swirling and glowing softly. Around the fountain grow flowers that seem to bloom in both directions, upward toward the sky and downward into their own reflections. You sit on the fountain's edge, dipping your fingers into the glowing pool. It feels cool at first, then warmer, almost as if it recognizes your touch. The surface ripples gently, forming soft patterns that spiral outward. When you look closer, you see faint shapes moving within the light. Not images, but sensations, memories of calm, laughter, stillness, all swirling together into a single, unbroken rhythm. You lean back, closing your eyes. The sound of the water merges with your breath, forming a slow, steady loop. In, out, each inhale lighter than the last. When you open your eyes again, someone is sitting across from you on the opposite edge of the fountain. It's the caretaker, the same kind-eyed woman you met when you first entered the cemetery of forgotten dreams. Her shawl glows faintly now, woven through with threads of silver light. She smiles softly, her eyes crinkling at the corners. "I told you," she says gently, "the night would be kind." You can't help but smile back. "I didn't realize it would be this kind." She chuckles, the sound like pages, turning, slowly. Most don't. They think dreams end in noise or in waking. But here, they fade into stillness the way a candle does, not because it's gone, but because the light has become part of the room. You glance around the garden. Is this where dreams go to rest? Yes, she says simply. The ones that have done their work, the ones that have been remembered. She reaches down, cupping her hands in the glowing water, then lets it pour through her fingers. The droplets fall into the moss, which shimmers softly in response. Every dream gives something to the world, she continues, even if it's never spoken aloud. A thought, a warmth, a moment of peace, and when it's done, it comes here to rest until it's ready to become something new. You watch her, mesmerized by the calm in her movements. Do you tend them all? She smiles again, shaking her head. No, the garden tends itself. I only listen. The dreams remember how to care for one another. The words sink into you like roots into soft earth. You can feel them settling somewhere deep and quiet inside. The caretaker looks at you for a long moment, then says softly, "You've carried many dreams tonight, some yours, some belonging to others. Do you feel lighter?" You nod. I do, like I left 100 heavy thoughts behind me and found something gentle to hold instead. She leans forward, her expression warm. That's what remembering feels like. People think it's about recalling what was lost, but remembering simply means bringing yourself back together. Every dream you touched tonight was a piece of you, waiting to be found. You sit with that in silence. The sound of the fountain, the slow breath of the garden, the faint flicker of fireflies drifting through the twilight, all of it melts together into one continuous calm. After a while, you ask, "What happens if I stay?" The caretaker's eyes soften. You'll rest, as the dreams do. You'll drift into their rhythm, sleep as they sleep. It's not an ending, it's a beginning that never hurries. She gestures behind you. You turn, and in the far distance, you see faint lights glowing between the trees, beds of soft moss, surrounded by lanterns, each one with a gentle figure sleeping beneath it. Some are human, some not. Some look like shadows of dreams themselves. The lanterns above them flicker like slow heartbeats. They sleep, you whisper. They rest, she corrects. Each one until they're ready to wake again in another dream, another night, another story. You feel a quiet pull in your chest, not a demand but an invitation, a beckoning to lie down, to stop walking, to let the night hold you completely. The caretaker stands, brushing off her hands. "If you wish," she says, "you may stay until the dawn returns to your world. The garden will keep you safe." You rise slowly, feeling your limbs lighter than air. "Will you be here?" She smiles. "Always, in one form or another. The dream doesn't end, it only changes shape." She nods toward a path that winds through a small grove of glowing trees. "Follow that. It leads to a place where the earth hums in time with the stars. You'll know it when you hear it." You thank her softly. She bows her head in return. As you walk down the path, the light around you grows softer, blending into shades of amber and ivory. The stars overhead seem closer now, their glow woven into the branches above. Every breath feels like sinking deeper into a cradle of light. When you reach the grove, you find a small patch of moss, surrounded by tiny blossoms that glow faintly pink. In the center rests a single lantern, pulsing slowly like a sleeping heart. You kneel beside it, feeling the hum of the earth beneath your palm. The rhythm is slow, patient, infinite. You lie back, the moss cushioning you perfectly, and exhale. The stars sway above, the lantern flickers beside you, and the world becomes impossibly soft. The garden hums, the trees whisper, the air holds you, and As your eyes grow heavy, you realize that you're no longer walking through dreams. You are the dream now, glowing quietly in the garden's eternal calm. Somewhere far away, a bell chimes once a slow, peaceful note, marking the passage of nothing but stillness. You smile, drifting, and the world fades into golden silence. The sound of the bell hums through the air low, steady, endless. It doesn't echo, it simply exists, vibrating through every leaf, every blade of grass, every breath you take. You feel it in your bones, soft and resonant, like the universe has sighed and everything has agreed to rest. You lie still for a moment, feeling your heartbeat slow to match the rhythm of that single note. In, out, in, out. The bell sounds again, deeper now, not loud, but infinite. Each tone fades slowly into the next, until you can no longer tell where the sound ends and silence begins. You open your eyes. The world around you has changed again. You're no longer in the grove, though the moss still cradles you. Now, the air shimmers faintly, as though made of starlight that has forgotten to shine, a soft twilight between sleep and eternity. The sky is neither dark nor bright, painted in shades of deep violet and silver gray, scattered with floating motes of light. They move gently through the air, drifting like lazy snowflakes, humming softly as they pass. You sit up, and the hum of the bell deepens once more. Ahead of you, a long marble pathway stretches across a still pond. It glows faintly beneath your feet, and at the far end, rising through a haze of silver mist, stands a tall stone tower. Its walls glimmer like moonstone, and from within, the light pulses in rhythm with the bell. You stand, drawn to it without question. Every step you take feels like floating. The air carries you forward effortlessly, your body weightless and calm. The pond mirrors the sky perfectly, so that as you walk, it feels as though you are crossing a bridge, suspended between two infinities, sky below, sky above, the horizon gently bending around you. The bell sounds again softer now, like a heartbeat far away. You realize that each tone makes the lights in the air shimmer brighter. They swirl gently around you, whispering fragments of sound that might be words or might be dreams. It's impossible to tell the difference anymore. When you reach the tower, the air grows warmer. Its doors are open, carved from white stone with no hinges or handles. You step inside. The interior glows with the same soft light that fills the garden, pale gold and pearl mixed together. The walls are covered in relief carvings, flowing and fluid, like ripples caught in stone. You trace your fingers along them, and the stone hums beneath your touch. Each carving shows something different. A sleeping child surrounded by glowing stars, a musician resting beside their silent instrument, a field of trees beneath a rain of petals, a person walking through mist toward a door of light. You realize, after a moment, that these are not scenes from stories. They are fragments of dreams carved into the heart of the tower. Every dream that found peace in the garden rests here, etched forever in soft stone. The bell hums again, and you follow its sound upward. A spiral staircase winds along the inside of the tower, lit by small golden flames that float freely in the air. You climb slowly, the sound of the bell guiding you, echoing faintly from above. There's no rush. Every step feels as though it's taken for you, not by you. Halfway up, you pause beside a window. Outside, you can see the entire garden of endless rest. The trees glow softly, their leaves swaying like breath. The fountain shimmers faintly in the distance, and the stars hang low enough to almost touch. You can see where you lay sleeping just moments ago, or perhaps still do. You continue upward until you reach the top. There, the space opens into a circular chamber, high and airy. At its center hangs the bell of still hours. It's enormous, suspended from invisible threads of light, its surface carved with the same rippling patterns as the walls below, but instead of metal, it seems to be made of pure light, condensed into form. It doesn't swing or move. Its sound comes from somewhere deeper, somewhere beyond time. Around the base of the bell sit 7 smaller lanterns, each glowing in a different color: blue, green, gold, rose, violet, silver, and white. Their light mingles and drifts upward, wrapping around the great bell like ribbons of smoke. You approach slowly, and as you do, the hum of the bell softens into something almost like a voice, wordless, yet warm. You can feel it speaking directly into your chest rather than your ears. Every dream ends in stillness, the voice hums. But stillness is not silence. It is the space where dreams learn to breathe again. You close your eyes, and the words vibrate through you, filling you with the calm of oceans and starlight. The bell continues. You have walked through memory and light. You have carried your forgotten wishes across the bridge of reflection and laid them to rest in the garden. What remains is only peace, the final dream before waking. You breathe slowly, deeply. Every muscle in your body feels loose, every thought untangled. Would you like to stay? The voice asks gently. Or would you like to return to wake beneath a different sky, carrying the quiet with you? You hesitate, but not out of fear. The question feels less like a choice and more like a moment of recognition, a reminder that waking and dreaming are simply 2 sides of the same stillness. I don't know, you whisper honestly. Perhaps I want both. The bell hums a soft, approving tone that makes the air glow brighter. Then you shall have both, it says. You may rest as long as you need, and when you wake, the calm you've gathered here will follow you. The sound of this bell will echo in your chest whenever the world grows loud. The light around you deepens into gold. The 7 lanterns rise slowly, circling the bell in wide orbits. Their glow grows softer, diffusing into the air like dawn breaking in slow motion. The bell hums once more, one long, low note that seems to stretch beyond time. The light swells with it, surrounding you completely. For a moment, there's nothing but warmth, sound, and peace. Then stillness. You feel yourself floating, neither awake nor asleep. Your body weightless, your mind empty of everything except calm. The note fades, but its echo remains, pulsing quietly where your heart beats. And in that silence, you know, the night still holds you, gently and endlessly. The echo of the bell fades like a tide pulling softly away from the shore, leaving behind a deep stillness that feels both vast and kind. The air no longer hums, it breathes. The silence isn't empty, it's alive, filled with the soft pulse of light, like the earth itself is dreaming. You open your eyes slowly. The great bell is gone. In its place now, a faint golden doorway glows at the far side of the tower's chamber. It doesn't shine brightly, it radiates calm, the color of candlelight at dawn. The walls around you shimmer faintly, as if they too are exhaling, their carvings gently shifting like sand beneath shallow water. You stand. The air feels thick, almost tangible, pressing softly against your skin like warm mist. You take a slow breath, and step toward the light. Each footstep releases a ripple that moves through the floor, and for a moment, the stone beneath you becomes translucent. Beneath it, you glimpse the dream worlds you've passed through: the meadow of lanterns, the lake of remembering light, the valley of echoed dreams, all glowing faintly, connected like constellations in the quiet sky of your journey. The golden door opens without a sound. You step through and find yourself standing in a long corridor bathed in amber light, the hall of gentle dawns. It's vast, but it doesn't feel cold or empty. The walls curve like the inside of a seashell, smooth and pearlescent. Along both sides stretch endless windows, each one looking out onto a different horizon. Some glow with morning light, others shimmer with twilight. A few show skies filled with pale stars. Every window is a different moment of awakening, gentle, calm, timeless. You walk slowly through the hall, your footsteps soft and rhythmic. Through the first window, you see a field of misty hills glowing under the first light of dawn. The sun hasn't risen yet, but the world is already beginning to stir, trees shifting, birds stretching their wings. You can almost feel the cool dew brushing against your fingertips. Through the next, a quiet seaside village lies half asleep. Fishing boats rock gently in the harbor, their sails fluttering like sighs. The smell of salt and morning bread seems to drift through the glass, mixing with the faint warmth of sunlight. Each window is a waking dream, a new world exhaling after long sleep. As you move past them, your reflection walks beside you in the glass, steady and serene. But it's not the reflection of the traveler who first entered the cemetery gate. Your eyes now carry the calm of still water. Your face glows faintly with the same soft light that filled the bell tower. You feel weightless, restored. You come to a window larger than the rest. Its glass is faintly golden, and beyond it, the world glows with soft pink and silver. A horizon stretches endlessly, painted in layers of clouds like folded silk. A gentle wind carries the scent of lilac and rain. You realize, with a quiet certainty, that this window shows not another dream, but the edge of waking. There's a small wooden bench before it, carved from the same pale stone as the tower's staircase. You sit down, resting your hands on your knees, and let the view fill you completely. The light beyond the glass brightens slowly, not harshly, but like the touch of sunlight filtered through eyelids. It warms your skin, your chest, your breath. It feels like life itself, returning in the softest possible way. Somewhere behind you, the caretaker's voice returns, not spoken, but remembered. You'll find what you came for, dear. Everyone does, eventually. You smile faintly. I think I have, the voice answers, as soft as the morning breeze. Then rest, and when you wake, carry this stillness with you. The world is loud, but the quiet will wait inside you, always. The air shifts gently. The hall begins to hum again, not like the bell before, but like a soft chorus of morning sounds. You hear birds. You hear wind moving through distant trees. You hear the faint crackle of light. You close your eyes. For a moment, you feel as though you're sitting in two worlds at once, one wrapped in mist and moonlight, one wrapped in dawn. They overlap, one fading into the other, and you float perfectly between them, untroubled, suspended in perfect peace. The hall grows brighter, golden light spilling softly across your hands. You can feel warmth spreading through you, not a command to wake, but a gentle invitation. You take a deep breath. The air smells faintly of sunlight on stone. When you open your eyes again, the window before you has vanished. In its place is open air, the dawn itself, real and limitless. The corridor stretches onward, but you no longer feel the need to walk. You're already there. The light touches your face, and for the briefest instant, you see everything you've passed reflected within it. The silver trees, the glowing names, the lanterns, the ferryman, the echo in the valley, the caretaker's kind smile, every dream, every whisper, every step you took glows faintly in the morning haze before fading into the brightness. And then silence. Not the silence of nothingness, the silence of peace fulfilled, the stillness that lives just before you open your eyes to a new day. You stay there, between dreaming and waking, feeling the world breathe gently around you. If you wish to rise, you may. If you wish to sleep longer, the hall will wait, humming softly, bathed in eternal dawn. Somewhere beyond the golden light, you hear a single final whisper, the kind that feels like it comes from inside your own heart. The dream is not ending, dear one. It's only changing shape, the way morning changes the color of the sky. You smile, letting the last of the night dissolve into warmth. The hall glows once more, and you, resting within it, shine just the same. The light of dawn lingers behind you, soft as breath, as you take your first step beyond the hall of gentle dawns. The air shifts, no longer golden, but faintly pearlescent, cool and scented with morning dew. You feel a quiet, subtle pull, like gravity made of calm, drawing you onward into yet another space of rest. Before you rises a staircase, wide and spiraling, built from what looks like glass, but feels like stone. It winds upward into soft mist that glows with the colors of early sunrise, pale rose, faint blue, and warm ivory, each hue moving slowly, like clouds changing shape. You place your foot on the first step. It hums quietly, like a note of music struck on the edge of memory. Then another hum joins it from the next step, and another. As you climb, each step sings softly beneath your weight, not loud enough to startle, only enough to keep you company. You realize the staircase is whispering. The sound isn't words, but tone, a chorus of gentle sighs, fragments of distant lullabies, the murmur of countless dreams turned into music. Each step holds a different note, and together they form a melody so slow and peaceful that your breathing begins to follow it without thought. Inhale, exhale, step, step. The rhythm is perfect, the heartbeat of stillness itself. The higher you climb, the clearer the whispers become. The staircase begins to speak, not to your ears, but to your thoughts. Its voice feels like it comes from inside you, each word floating to the surface of your awareness, as softly as ripples spreading across calm water. Every dream you've touched, the staircase hums, has become part of you. Every echo that lingered, every lantern you followed, every reflection you remembered, they live now within your quiet heart. You pause, resting one hand on the cool railing. The glass glows faintly beneath your fingertips, warm where you touch it. You look down, and far below the garden gleams faintly in the mist, the fountain glowing, the willow by the lake shimmering, the lanterns drifting slowly back toward their resting places. For the first time, you understand, you are not leaving those places. They rise with you, layered within your breath, becoming one continuous piece that carries itself forward. You smile, and continue to climb. As you ascend, the air grows lighter, more translucent, until each breath feels like drawing in light itself. The staircase widens slightly, opening into alcoves along the way, small pockets where soft images shimmer like dreams caught in glass. You pause at one. Inside the alcove, a vision unfolds. Not a dream, but a memory of stillness, a forest at twilight, a small cabin with its door half open, the sound of gentle rain on the roof. You recognize it instantly, not because you've been there, but because it feels like home, like every peaceful moment you've ever longed for. The whispering continues. All places of peace live within you. You have visited them in sleep, in breath, in kindness, in silence. The dreamer does not seek the quiet. The dreamer is the quiet. You take another slow breath, and the vision fades like a sigh. The staircase glows brighter with each step now, its whispers softening into hums of comfort, like being sung to by a chorus of stars. You reach a landing where the spiral opens into a wide platform suspended in air. Around it drift spheres of light, slowly orbiting like planets. Each one holds a flickering image, a sleeping dreamer, a blooming flower, a wave breaking in infinite slow motion. You step among them, brushing your fingertips against one. It hums and releases a faint scent of lavender and warm rain. Another releases the sound of ocean foam rolling against sand. The entire space feels like a living lullaby. At the far end of the platform stands a single, narrow stairway that rises higher still, vanishing into a column of soft, silver blue light. You feel no urgency, only gentle knowing. This is the final ascent, the threshold between the world of dreams and the quiet beyond. The staircase murmurs one last time, its voice tender and low. Climb and rest. Carry what you've gathered. There is no end, only unfolding. You begin to climb the final steps. The silver blue light grows brighter, surrounding you in cool radiance. It's not dazzling, it's comforting, the kind of brightness that doesn't erase shadow but fills it with peace. Your steps slow until they feel like floating. The whispers fade entirely, replaced by the faint sound of wind and heartbeat, your own, steady and calm. At last, you reach the top. There is no door, no threshold, only open air and infinite stillness. Before you stretches a horizon made entirely of light, not day, not night, but the soft meeting point of both. The clouds move like silk. The stars glow faintly, even as morning begins to rise. The whole sky feels alive and breathing. You realize you are standing inside the pause between worlds, the last breath before waking, the first breath after sleep. The wind here is soft, like hands brushing your hair. The air smells faintly of jasmine, candle smoke, and rain after sunlight. Somewhere below, the bell hums one final time, faint now, but clear, a reminder that you are safe, that you are home. You close your eyes, letting the silence take you fully. There is nothing left to reach for, nothing left to leave behind. Only peace, endless and radiant, holding you in the same gentle rhythm that has carried you since the beginning. The light wraps around you like the softest blanket, and for a long, long moment, you are everything. The sky, the dream, the sound, the stillness. You exhale, the light deepens, and somewhere within that silver calm, you hear the faintest murmur, the final whisper of the staircase, fading into the wind. Rest now, that dawn will wait for you. The light around you softens, shifting from silver blue to the faint blush of dawn, the first warmth after a long night. It's gentle and quiet, like the slow breath of the earth itself. The air tastes faintly of rain and sunlight, as though morning has been distilled into something you can breathe. You open your eyes. There is no staircase beneath your feet, now only a stretch of air so still and clear it could be glass. Yet you feel perfectly safe, supported by something unseen but certain. Far below, the dream world glows faintly, the garden, the lake, the valley, all sleeping, waiting for the next dreamer to wander through. A soft wind brushes your skin. It feels familiar, like the sigh of a window opening on a quiet morning. You can hear faint sounds drifting through it, the murmur of water, a single bird singing somewhere far away, the slow rustle of leaves waking to the Sunday. This is the breath of morning, the gentle space where dreams release their hold and life stirs again. You inhale deeply. The air feels new, clean, alive. Every breath carries warmth through your chest, spreading from your heart outward until your entire body hums with soft light. You realize that you've been carrying the night's serenity inside you, and now, with each breath, you are exhaling it back into the waking world. The horizon begins to bloom. Soft layers of pink unfold into gold. Clouds stretch lazily across the sky, their edges glowing with peach and amber. The world below ripples in the reflection of light lakes catching fire in the dawn, trees crowned in silver dew. It's not loud, this awakening. It's tender, like a song played on the edge of silence. You look down at your hands. They shimmer faintly, the last traces of dreamlight fading from your skin. You can feel the weight of your own heart beat again, but it's slower, calmer, touched by the rhythm of all you've seen. The wind changes direction, carrying a sound so soft you almost miss it. The caretaker's hum, that same tune she sang when you drank tea by her hearth so many nights, or perhaps moments ago. You can almost see her now, walking through the garden, collecting the lanterns, whispering to each, "Rest now, my darlings, rest." A warmth rises behind your eyes. You close them and whisper into the wind, "Thank you." The air seems to bow in return. A soft glimmer appears ahead, not a gate this time, not a bridge, but a shimmer of light that flickers like morning haze above a meadow. It feels like an invitation, not to leave but to rejoin. The space between dreaming and waking has become so thin now that you can feel both pressing gently against you, like two waves meeting in quiet accord. You step forward, the air thickens with golden light, and as you move, you begin to hear faint whispers, not from the staircase, not from the valley, but from your own heart. It's speaking in rhythm with your pulse. You have walked the long night. You have gathered its calm. Now carry it back with you. You inhale once more, slowly, letting the light fill you. It moves through your chest, your arms, your fingers' warmth spreading like sunlight through clear water. The light ahead opens wider, like the sky unfurling. You can sense the world on the other side, not loud, not harsh, just real. The soft creak of morning wood, the scent of coffee, the rustle of curtains, the hum of distant life. For the first time, you realize you are not leaving the dream. You are bringing it with you. You look down once more at the endless dream below. The silver lake, the glowing trees, the resting lanterns all seem to shimmer in quiet farewell. Or perhaps they too are breathing with you, joining you in this shared awakening. A voice the same as the bell of still hours, deep and kind, drifts through the dawn. The dreamer and the dream are one. The world waits softly. Wake gently, and remember, peace is not a place you visit, but a light you carry. You nod, eyes glistening. The air glows brighter. The warmth deepens. The mist begins to thin, and you can almost see the faint outlines of your waking room forming through the veil, your pillow, your blanket, the quiet rhythm of breath in your chest. The line between dreaming and waking dissolves completely now, and yet the calm remains. You smile not from joy or sadness, but from pure contentment. You have walked the full night through memory, stillness, and light, and arrived here at the edge of morning whole, unbroken, free. The last of the dream light gathers around you, swirling softly like a final embrace. You let it settle into your heart. It hums once, a tiny echo of the great bell's tone, and then fades into stillness. The sky brightens, the dawn breathes, you breathe with it, and for a long, endless moment, the world holds its breath with you, a shared pause between dreaming and living, between silence and song. Then, slowly, the sun rises. The dawn gathers around you now, soft and immense, wrapping the edges of the dream in a radiance that feels like eternity exhaling. It's warm, not in the way fire warms, but in the way love does, deep, patient, and endlessly gentle. You stand within it, still between worlds. The air moves through you like water, carrying with it the softest hum. Not the bell this time, not the whispers of the staircase, but something simpler. It is your own breath, echoing the rhythm of everything you've walked through. The slow silver hush of the cemetery gates, the calm murmur of the lake, the laughter of lanterns, the song of fireflies, the silence of the bell. You breathe in, you breathe out, the entire dream breathes with you. The light shifts, rippling like silk on a river. Shapes form within it, familiar and kind. The caretaker appears first, her shawl now golden with morning light. She nods once, smiling, her eyes full of quiet pride. Behind her stands the ferryman, his lantern glowing softly at his side. The dreamkeeper flutters nearby, wings dusted with silver. Even the great tree from the path of silver leaves seems to shimmer in the air behind them, its branches swaying slowly in unseen wind. They are not here to speak. They are simply here, luminous presences of every place you've visited, standing as witnesses to your return. And among them, one last figure appears. At first you think it's another echo of light, but then you see the detail. A tall, calm figure, cloaked in dawn-colored robes, holding in both hands a small lantern. Its glass glows, not gold or white, but the same gentle hue as the sky before sunrise, a color that cannot be named, only felt. When they speak, their voice is both near and infinite. It's the voice you've been hearing all along, beneath every whisper, every echo, every hum, the voice of the dream itself. You have walked far, says the figure, through sleep, through silence, through remembering. You have seen how dreams rest, how they listen, how they become light. They raise the lantern. Inside, the flame burns steady, bright, unhurried. This, they say, is the keeper's light. It is what remains when the night is done, the gentle glow that stays in the dreamer's heart. They extend their hands, offering it to you. It is yours now. Take it back with you. Let it live quietly behind your waking eyes. You reach forward, and the lantern's handle settles perfectly into your palm. It's weightless, warm, pulsing faintly with the same rhythm as your heartbeat. The keeper smiles, serene. You do not need to guard it. It will guard you. Whenever the world grows loud, its light will remind you of what you found here. You glance down at the lantern once more and realize that the flame inside is familiar. It's the same glow that followed you from the first moment at the cemetery gate, the light of forgotten dreams, the one that never left your side. You had carried it all along. You simply needed to see it. The keeper nods, as if hearing your realization. Every dreamer carries it, they whisper, even when they forget, especially when they forget. You feel something stir in your chest, a slow, tender swell of gratitude, so vast it almost feels like tears, though your face stays still. The keeper steps back into the growing light. Go gently, they say. The night will wait for you when you need to return. It always does. The caretaker bows. The ferryman tips his lantern. The dreamkeeper flickers once and fades into a small glint of gold. One by one, the figures dissolve into soft beams of morning. You are alone again, or perhaps more whole than ever. The world brightens. The sky opens. The horizon stretches wide. You feel your body beginning to remember itself, the weight of blankets, the shape of your breath, the quiet of the room beyond the dream. But you also feel the dream lingering, refusing to vanish, nestling gently into the corners of your awareness, like a melody that will hum quietly forever. You close your eyes, the lantern's warmth still glowing inside your chest, and in that last deep silence, the dream speaks one more time, not in words, but in understanding. Sleep and waking are only waves upon the same sea. You are the ocean beneath them. You inhale the dawn, you exhale the night. The light fades softly, folding itself around you, and you drift downward, slow, peaceful, whole, into the deepest rest of all. No sound now, only the breath of morning, only the warmth of quiet light, and the world waiting, patient, for you to open your eyes whenever you're ready.